Okay. Shall we go Euro?
Oh, yeah. Oh, namaste. All right. Oh, I like sitting. So I'm going to jump right into it. So you all have amazing businesses. You're all embedded in the wellness world, and you all have taste. And so I'm going to start with wellness in general. What would you attribute to the rise in wellness, if you had to pick one thing?
I would say that it is it's the consciousness that needs to come onto the planet right now for the survival of the human race.
You're going for it.
Yeah.
I just went there.
Look, I mean, you see the symptoms. You've heard it over the last day and a half. Everyone's overworked. Everyone's stressed, struggling with, trying to achieve their goals with weight. And, if you're in the U.S., 40% of the population is overweight or obese. Type 2 diabetes is about the same percentage. We are broken as a people as it relates to our health, right? And then you're not even talking about the spiritual part of it.
Yep.
But I think we're at a crisis point, right? And there's a moment when a lot of these solutions are now becoming available, and people are starving for them.
And so, how have you guys used fashion in your business?
I ran from fashion. I grew up in...
And look where you are.
And look where I am now. I grew up in Manhattan, and my mom was in the fashion industry, and so I grew up with... I've got little baby pictures that Mario took of me, and really grew up in it. And I ran away at 17. I thought, this is so awful and negative and oppressive, and I'm leaving New York. And the fashion industry is really... You guys have embraced my outcry of health and wellness like nobody else has. Not the health industry, kind of. Not even grocery. It's been fashion.
What about you, Nigma?
Well, for me, I don't know much about fashion, but what I think now is the new fashion. Thank you. I did try today, especially for you. What I find is that the new fashion is now health and wellness. Yep. And I want to touch on a point that you asked earlier. And what I'm finding with my patients, and I have practices in the United States and the UK, and there's a common thread among everyone, is they want optimal health and well-being. There's so much chronic illness. There are so many people that don't feel great, and they go to their GPs, and their GPs say to them, oh, you're fine, go home, your lab tests are normal. And they're not feeling great. They're not feeling optimal. And when they feel better, they look better. Mm-hmm. They feel better in their clothes. And I see a lot of my patients are, models, celebrities, and they have to, look good on television, they have to feel good, and they feel good and sexy in their clothing. Yep. Because they feel good and they're eating the right foods.
Yep. Neil?
Yeah, just to add to it, I think the fashion industry got it right. In food, we've taken a one-size-fits-all approach. So how many of you look at the people that you serve, that you clothe, all have the same size, shape? Raise your hand if you believe that's true. So you guys have been the leaders in the bespoke industry for years. We're now trying to bring that to food, where we recognize that a one-size-fits-all approach is actually making us more sick than healthy as it relates to food. And so now we got to get into the inside and understand how we're uniquely different at a cellular level, and then translate that into a unique, bespoke kind of plan for nutrition. So we believe we're actually following in the heels and the shoes of fashion in our approach to that bespoke treatment.
So do you guys think that wellness can bring more joy to people than fashion?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if basically whatever, wellness is a whole encompassing, it's about eating right, it's about spirituality, it's about meditation. It's how you think. Most of your immune system is in your gut, and you have more serotonin, feel-good hormones in your gut than you do in your brain. So, just by eating the right foods, taking the right supplements are very important to managing how you feel and how you express yourself.
I would say that fashion and wellness actually go hand in hand to create a lot of joy. And the problem that I always saw with health and wellness was that it was always approached from a fear perspective. If you don't eat this way, if you don't meditate, if you don't do this, you'll get cancer and die a horrible death.
Yes.
But the way to move people is really through seduction. And that's what fashion is. It's love. It's love-based. So I feel like the convergence of fashion and that energy and that inspiration and that love with wellness is really, that's the joy.
And so how much of the growth of wellness do you attribute to this macro trend of people spending on experiences, and we're just swept up in that? Or is it something else or something bigger?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, whether it's SoulCycle or any new kind of yoga method that's coming online, people are going there in droves because that experience is rich unto itself, but the legacy of it or the lasting effect of that carries through their day. Yeah. And I think that's where, I think the new luxury is going to be in how you feel internally.
Yeah.
I mean, I have patients that come to me and say, Dr. Nigma, I have the best car, I have the best house, I have the best husband, I have everything I could ever, I've got the best Prada bag. Every season I get a new bag, but I don't feel well. I don't feel optimal. How can I enjoy these things? What is the point of having things? People want experiences. They want to feel transformed, not to continue to collect more clutter, more things. They want experiences. They want transformation. Yep.
There's also a longevity in the experience, is the way we experience time. So all this experiential stuff, I get, gives you a richer, fuller, longer life. And with wellness, I think you come around it in that way, that it's actually, we can look at aging and time in a biological way rather than chronological. So layering in joy and adventure, but also helping yourself turn back the hands of time, if you will.
And so let's talk about community. Community is something, like, we all know each other, we're friends. The wellness world, there's this great community. It's very real, it's very authentic. What do you think fashion can learn from wellness with regards to community?
Well, I think one of the things in the wellness world is everyone feels like they're on a mission, right? Yep. You heard Jason's story. We all have similar stories to that. We've been touched by something, and then we're like on a mission to bring as many people on that journey as possible. So people rally around big ideas. In our case, my previous company was an organic baby food brand, and it was 5 small, parents in Oakland, California, taking on the biggest food giant in the world, which was Nestle. And we said, we're going to be a company by parents, for parents. And it was young, savvy, hip, cool. We introduced quinoa, kale, and purple carrots to parents around the country in the United States. And parents flocked to our brand. We became the fastest growing food company in America, and we built a community around, feeding our kids the very best food, right? And it was about a central idea that brought everyone together.
I mean, I think the fashion industry can learn, and fashion does it every day. You're inspiring people, but maybe, inspire people, don't perspire them. Just, get them motivated to do something and take control about their own health and wellness, and sort of bring it into the brand, and have healthy looking people representing fashion.
Yep.
I heard a lot of it yesterday, but just the celebrating everyone's uniqueness and sustainability. But I hear a lot of you guys talking about that. So kindness.
So what's the little black dress of wellness, so to speak? What's that one thing you gotta have in your wardrobe, or your wellness wardrobe?
Your wellness wardrobe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say kale. It's gone from kale. Because kale. I mean, how many of you guys have suffered through some kale? I mean, it's like eating a weed, right? But I mean, it's hella good for you. So so that went from kale to quinoa to kombucha. But I think it's going to be DNA. Yep. And biodata, that's going to be the little black dress of wellness. Because at the end of the day, we're going to start to be able to make decisions about our well-being, whether we want to lose weight, whether we want to get more in shape, all based on that kind of data that we have at a cellular level.
Now I know what that means. If I had to pick one thing, it would be probiotics. I am a huge fan of probiotics. If you look at your gut, you have 100 trillion bugs living in there. Okay? They're the good, the bad, and the ugly. And how you assimilate vitamins, how you absorb your food, is through your gut bacteria. Okay? And they can work in your favor, or they can work against you. So probiotics are like the Buckingham Palace guards that guard the entrance and don't allow the bad guys to get in. Because when the bad guys get in, that's when you start to suffer. And we're starting to see a host of chronic illnesses in the microbiome. It's when I started lecturing about naturopathic medicine and the gut microbiome project hadn't even been released yet. And I was speaking to everybody saying, like, if you support your gut, everything you'll be more beautiful, your skin will be more beautiful, and that's the way now I get to women is I say, okay, well, if you eat these foods, it's going to show up on your skin. So they listen to me now. So I've been able to manipulate that a bit.
Adaptogens. We talked about
adaptogens. Now you got to tell people what adaptogens are.
Well, we talked about the bubonic plague and that there's no magic pill, and there is meditation, and I too meditate twice a day. So I'd put that right there with adaptogens. But then there's this almost edible form of meditation called an adaptogen. And it's not a magic pill, although it's very magical and done daily. It really is that magic pill with meditation. And they are super herbs that go into your body, and they change your biochemistry. So they really start to unstress you from the inside out, much like meditation. And it's something that I actually have years of blood work that track my adaptogen use and the biochemistry that prints out while using them.
So hearing everyone speak yesterday, what do you think the similarities are in our worlds between fashion and wellness? And then we're going to touch on the differences.
Well, I think you mentioned it earlier, but one of our brand tenets is seduction, right? So at the end of the day, our business, we're asking people to take DNA, do a home blood test, and then go through, a bunch of other steps and get a personalized nutrition recommendation. And so we said we want to make each step of that as seductive as we possibly can. And so our test kit doesn't look like a medical test kit. It actually looks like you're unboxing a luxury item. And it's a book because every body tells a story. So every page is a page about you. It's your DNA. The next one, it's blood. And so we've used the language of fashion and high design to bring into the wellness world.
I think I would say it's love. I really would say these are two industries that are based in the love and the passion and the drive to see a brighter, more beautiful world and to share that with everyone.
And so we've got some of the most influential people in fashion all right here. They're listening. I can tell they're listening. What's their takeaway? What can they do? So if I've said, if we've largely addressed wellness and fashion just through athleisure, what can they do? What are the takeaways? What can we arm them with to go out there and create great products for everyone?
I would say to take care of yourselves. I see everyone work themselves so hard, and I get that, and I do it as well. But if you could just give yourself, whether it's meditation or permission to have a massage or permission to try adaptogens or change your diet or have an appointment with any of these people, I think when you really deeply, deeply care for yourself, the work that comes out of you and the way you'll be able to communicate to the rest of the world will also have that message. And I think that's what we need now. We need to take care of ourselves and take care of each other.
I couldn't agree more. And what I'm seeing over and over again with productivity with your employees, I get these huge hedge funds hire me to come out and take care of their big boys, because if they're not functioning well, the company is not going to function well. So you have a healthy company, you have healthy employees, they're able to be more creative, they're able to be more efficient, and everybody's happy. And that energy spreads. It's like a virus, a good virus, where it spreads throughout the organization. And what you see in the end is an amazing result. So I think it's all about, exactly what Amanda is saying is very, very important to take care of yourself and also take care of your employees, and give a wellness model, a working wellness model within your organization.
I was just going to say, you all inspire the world, to think differently about themselves, and people said they missed that yesterday, and I would just encourage you guys to kind of embrace that again, inspire yourselves in that same way.
And so within wellness, we have a very strong consumer base, very loyal consumer base. How can the fashion industry speak to the wellness consumer in a way that is really relevant and really resonates with them?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is have a stand, take a point of view. There's so much stuff that's going on in the world today that we find in the wellness industry that the best brands are the ones that they become love marks on people because it's about not only a great product and a service that you love and you experience, but that you actually feel like your values are aligned. You stand for the same things. And now more than ever, we saw it all yesterday. This is like doomsday scenarios. It's like we need all of you to kind of take a point of view and take a stand and inspire all of us to kind of get through all of this.
I think radical freedom, that just everybody wants to feel that. And, we're in this movement now that almost resembles something of the energy of the 60s, but I think it is more subtle, and it's here to stay. So I see people get really excited by the cosmic patterns. I think Valentino did like an amazing clutch with the cosmos on it, and people are using big raw crystals and in big chunks of gold. So I think that
John
message...
Galliano is talking about being present.
I had so many quotes from him. It was so good. Freedom.
Freedom. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much. High five.
Well,
That's like the highest high five ever.